Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am building a pedal board and I wanted to walk you guys through the process. This is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm finally getting around to it. I have a pedal board here. It's a live wire pedal board that I'll show you guys in a second. And I got about 7 or 8 pedals that we are going to run through it. And I'm just going to go through from beginning to end, show you guys kind of the order that I'm going to go through. I'm going to wire it all up, put the Velcro on it, and we're going to walk through this whole thing and give you guys a good overview of building the pedal board. Now I want to say you guys don't have to use the pedals that I'm using. Honestly, and I'll comment on this throughout the video, you can use whatever you can get access to, right? You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money to have a pretty amazing sound. If you think about it, you know, there are affordable pedals out there and there are super expensive pedals. I've been playing for 20 plus years, almost 30 years, and I've spent money on pedals. So these pedals are not cheap. They're not on the low end. But let me just tell you, I've done it with cheap pedals also. So anyway, let's get into this. We'll first do a quick overview here. All right, guys, so I got this live wire. This was actually a gift to me from a student. And these are the pedals. And I kind of already set them up in the order that I am going to run them through. So I have the Digitech drop pedal, which is for changing the tuning on the fly. You know, you can drop it down a half step. So you basically are able to go the opposite way of if you have a capo. I'm going to use the Keeley compressor, tried and true. I'm going to use a Revv G3 for my distortion, the Allen Hines Soul Driven by Xotic Effects. I'm going to use the Morley Little Alligator volume pedal just because I've had this thing sitting around forever and I don't use it. I've been using a lot of these mini Dunlop pedals. But anyway, I figured I would throw this on this board. This is going to be an ampless rig, so I am going to use the Walrus ACS1. I don't know what I'm doing with this pedal. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I am putting it on this board because I'm going to commit to it and I'm going to try to build an ampless rig. And basically I want to be able to have something I can just take with me and plug it in when I have to play out live somewhere. And then for the reverb, we're going to use the Jet Pedals Revelation Reverb. So one more through there. We got the Digitech drop, the Revv G3, the Xotic Effects Soul Driven, the Keeley compressor. We got the Morley Little Alligator, which is actually a pretty big pedal. We have the Walrus Audio ACS1, and we have the Jet Pedals Revelation Reverb. And that is going to be the main setup here. That's what we're going to be using. So let's dig into it. We'll jump over to this other camera here that I got. And basically what I'm going to do is probably just going to speed through this. I am going to ditch the bag so that you guys can see what we're doing. Oh, I forgot to mention also, for the power, this is cool. I decided to try something different this time. We are going to use the Canvas, the Walrus Audio Canvas power. This is the 8 plug one. So this is sort of like an unboxing on this one. So we are going to be mounting this thing underneath the board. And it looks like this. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 volt with 500 milliamps. And then we have 2 switchable 9, 18, and 12 volt switch options. And then what I like about this pedal supply, maybe a lot of them do this, it's got your power in, but it's got power out, so you can like daisy chain if I went to a bigger board or something like that. Anyway, super slim profile. It looks big, it is long, but it is a slim pedal. You know, it's basically maybe about the size of 2 pedals put together. You know what I mean? And the thickness is, it's thinner. See if I can get, it's thinner than a regular pedal. It's pretty cool. So anyway, we're going to mount this underneath. Guys, you know what? I just thought I have to cut in here for a second and say something about the power. Now, I went ahead and I bought this Canvas power supply that's like all isolated power and whatnot. I don't know where the box is. But you really don't need to do that. You can get away with one of the tried and true iSpot daisy chain power supplies, and you can buy one of these things. They got to be like 30, 40 bucks, maybe 50 at tops. But this thing, you know, you plug it into an outlet and then you can daisy chain it to all your pedals. I used to run tons of pedal boards with one of these things for years and years and years. It wasn't until I was playing later that I got into the whole isolated and went and started buying like the bigger bricks and things like that. And I just wanted to mention that because I don't want you to think you gotta go out and spend $300 on a power supply, because that can be daunting. Look up the iSpot. I'll put like a little reference to it there in the video, and that could be your first power supply for your first rig that you're building. And you just want to have fun with this stuff, so you know, do whatever is the cheapest at first if you're just starting out. And if you've been playing for a while, then splurge a little bit. I mean, come on, it is fun to spend a little bit of money and get some nice stuff. So I am going to use some Velcro. And just from doing pedal boards like over the years, I used to like put these huge lines of Velcro on the pedal board itself, and then I would put a whole lot of Velcro on the bottom of the pedals. And I actually found, just over the years of doing this, less is actually more in a sense. I'm not going to use a ton of Velcro on this pedal board. I'm only going to put the Velcro where I need it, and I just find that just makes it so much cleaner, and it's easier to like switch things around because I don't have to like rip the pedal off of the pedal board. So anyway, I'm going to end up cutting this into little strips, and hopefully I'll have enough. So first up in the chain is going to be the Digitech drop pedal. I'm going to put this right in the front, that way it gets the cleanest signal possible coming right out of the guitar. And that really helps with tracking when you're shifting the tunings, because if you hit that pedal first, it just helps retune the guitar the fastest. If I put it later in the chain, I just find that there's a lot of delays in the pedal trying to make the retune happen. So if you're dropping like down a half step or a whole step, you can hear like a lot of stutters. So I would suggest keeping that first in the chain. Then after that, I'm going to hit the Keeley compressor, and this is going to be set pretty light just to smooth out my picking and add consistency without, you know, adding a bunch of extra noise. Since I use single coils, the compressor can tend to get noisy depending on the other pedals I have engaged with it. Then third in the chain is going to be the soul driven pedal. This is my Overdrive. I'm going to have this on just like a low gain, kind of just edge of breakup type of tone. And that really helps me when I'm playing like any of these worship songs in church. They tend to just not get super heavy with the distortion. So that Overdrive pedal, I've just found it has some great tones. And even if I want to get a little bit heavier with it, I can just push the gain on it and I can almost get a distortion out of it. And I just love that pedal. After that, I'm going to run in this distortion pedal, the Revv G3. I love this pedal for distortion. I mean, if you guys play metal and stuff like that, check out the Revv G3. That thing just has such clean, heavy distortion, especially if you're using like EMGs or something with active pickups. It sounds great, and it works for all kinds of heavy rock. And you can even dial it down and get kind of an overdrive-y sound out of it. Anyway, after that, I'm going to add the Morley Little Alligator volume pedal. And I'm going to place this after all the gain pedals. So after my overdrive and my distortion, that way it controls the overall output of the distortions. Like, I want my volume pedal to bring down my level equally. I don't want it to cut the gain. Now, if you put a volume pedal before a distortion or overdrive, it actually cuts the gain of the pedal. I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that with my volume knob on my guitar. Then we're going to add the Walrus ACS1. This is going to handle all of my amp and cab simulations and let me run completely ampless straight to the front of the house. Then the last pedal in the chain is going to be my Revelation Reverb from Jet Pedals. And I'm going to put the reverb at the very end because it just keeps it sounding natural and spacious, especially for ambient parts. I just love having that reverb pedal at the end. Of course, you can always mess around and put it wherever you want, but that's where I'm going to put it. Now, once I get everything mounted, I just finish up with the cable management, which I'll go to in the next clip, and the power. But basically, I have everything in place where I want it. And at the end, I'll come back and put in the final touches and move things around and just get it super organized. All right, so now we're pretty much wired up on this end. Now it's time to wire power. Why did I do this first? Well, you could have thrown the power in, but for some reason, I think I like flipping the board over and figuring out where I want the power afterwards. And that's sort of what I'm doing here. I think I'm just going to zip tie this pedal brick in here using like a 12-inch zip tie. And I just quickly strap it through there and zip it in there. And it's just a super easy way to get it done. That's going to be like that, guys. Doesn't move. Boom. And now I just kind of go through, plug in all the powers to the correct outlets, and then I'm just going to tidy it up by taking some more of these zip ties and just bunching the cables together under the board, zip tying them to the board, super easy, and just make it look as organized as I can. And there we go. We have our board wired up. The only thing I didn't do, I didn't push this cable down. Alright, so now we got that hooked up. Let's apply our power to the canvas and see how we sound with this. Let's see if we get some power to our pedals. Alright, looks like so far we got stuff going. Look at that. Everything's on. Couldn't ask for anything better, right? Let's plug it in and see if we actually get sound. Let's see if I nailed it on the first take or if I'm going to have no sound somewhere. I'm going into the drop. I'm going to... Well, we already have some sound. I decided after I did this video that I need to give you guys a good audio of the guitar with the pedal board, because when I originally recorded, I just had the mic on my shirt basically picking up the room of the sound, and I figure if I'm going to do a pedal board, I might as well run it through the board, show you exactly what it's going to sound like through the PA. So anyway, this is what I got going. I'm running the pedal board now on my stage here. It is going into the canvas line isolator, okay, and then that's getting ran to the back here and going into my mixer, which is a Behringer Wing Compact. Okay, so I'm going to be here. Guitar 2 is my channel, and basically I shut off the EQ, I shut off the gate, I shut off everything. Like, there's no effects coming through the actual mixer. So this is just going to be a flat signal, but I'm going to record directly to the mixer, and I'm going to use the audio from that recording so you guys can hear what we're getting. This is just going to be the clean signal, okay? Nothing on there. Okay? That's my bridge, neck pickup. Alright, that's the clean signal. Let's just put just the amp on. So this is the green channel on the Walrus ACS1. Now let's go ahead and throw on the next channel so you can hear that. This is going to be the blue channel. Same kind of sound, clean, but it just has a little bit maybe less highs on it. And then the red channel. A little bit of breakup on this one. Okay, so we'll go back here to the green channel. I'll throw the compress. Actually, why not? Let's throw on the drop for a second. You can hear. That's down a whole octave. Let's change this to like, let's go half step down. Standard. Sorry, that was actually a whole step down. So then we got the compressor. Okay, a little bit of reverb. Actually, this has a lot of reverb on it. Probably play a little bit different for this. right? Maybe if I wanted something a little different, let's see if I can change that channel. That's a long reverb also. Let's see if I can find something short. Okay, that one's a little short. A little bit of overdrive. Right, if I go to the distortion, I'm not going to leave the compressor on because it just adds too much. You can already hear, if I don't put it on like my second position on the pickup, you're going to hear that feedback, that 60 cycle hum. Okay, and then that's basically it, guys. I mean, that's the pedal board. That's a couple of the sounds with it. Obviously, I'm still tweaking this stuff, but I wanted to give you guys the sound directly from the board, what's going through the house, because I just did not like the audio that the mic was picking up when I was doing the room. Hey guys, I'm cutting in to let you know that this video is sponsored by yours truly, Rich Freeman with Tuned Guitar Lessons and the Fretboard Memorization Deck. Now I'm just kidding, but if you guys want to support this channel and support me, what you can do is go to my website and buy a deck of these guitar flashcards that will help you memorize the notes on your fretboard. They'll help you memorize interval shapes, chord formulas, scale formulas, key signatures, all kinds of things like that that are pertaining to the guitar and music theory. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the video, but I really appreciate it. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting a ton more content this year, and I'm looking forward to just watching this channel continue to grow. Thank you so much for spending your time here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch you next time. God bless.